Hey shopkeepers, today we're going to have a little bit of a longer video. It's a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to try and keep it simple. We're going to talk about employees, what they are, what they do, and some tips and tricks on how to manage them. First things first, how do I unlock employees? Well, I unlock them, like most things, in the research board, all the way over here. It's going to take you a little bit less than $2,000 to unlock the employee table. Now, as you can tell, it says craft at wooden crafting bench. So make sure, grab your bamboo crafting table. You turn that thing into at least a wooden version. Plop that thing down. Oops, plop that thing down. And we have an employee table over here. As you can see, it takes a clock. We got to make sure craft a clock first. There we go. I'll be able to tell I'm on creative mode, so it's not going to consume resources, but I'm going to craft it anyway for you guys. Then, once we have the clock and the wood, of course, we can craft ourselves an employee table. Plop that bad boy down. Now, what have we got? We are greeted with a screen with employees, no employees hired, because we're on the manage screen. That is the screen where we can see our current employees and where we can, as the name might suggest, manage them. Now, we don't have any, so where do we get some? Get them in the Hire tab. In the Hire tab, you're going to see 2 to 5 or 6 employees that you can pick from to hire. Right now, I only have 2 because I'm currently on a level 1 shop plot. Once you have up to level 20, you'll be able to see more of them. 5 to 6. I think the maximum is 5, might be 6. Now, what do we see on this screen? Right now, since this is a level 1 shop with no special unlocks, this is the basic thing. This is what you guys are also more or less going to see when you start out with employees. We've got 2 people. We've got their name. We've got their upfront hiring cost, so that's a one-time payment you make to hire this person. You've got their wages, which in this case is 2 an hour, because they're both really low, quality and low-cost employees. And then you have their different skills, their different tasks that they can do. Both of these guys can only do cleaning. Now, why is that? Let me take you over to the research tab. Over here, a lot of research. What we want to look at right now is this research tab. It starts with cleaning employees. That is unlocked by default. So we have that. That's why we have employees that can do cleaning. What we don't have is any of the other skills. What are the other skills, you might ask? Well, we already saw cleaning employees. They clean. We have restocking employees. They grab stuff from crates, put it in your displays to sell to customers. Next, we have haggling employees. The only thing a haggling employee does is stand behind a cash register, take the customer's money. Next, we have a gathering employee. The gathering employee will go out into the world, grab a resource that you tell them to go get, bring it back and deposit it into a crate. And then lastly, we have a crafting employee. Craft items and they store them. So what that means is they will put resources into a machine that you have selected a recipe on. The machine will then craft that resource, or the recipe rather, and then once a item is completed, one of the crafting employees will come grab that item, take it out of the machine, put it in a crate. So they basically feed resources into a machine and then grab the finished results, put it in a crate. Okay, so now that we have seen what we can unlock, let me go back to the original plot we were in where we have way more unlocks. There we go. We're back at the dojo plot, which is a level 20 store, which is the maximum. So as you can see, there are five employees for hire, and they have different skills. That is because we've already unlocked 4 out of 5 different employee types. Now, let's unlock the 5th one as well. To do that, we gotta put money in our shop, in our vault. Why? Everything you spend in this bench, research, training, and hiring, that's all gonna come out of the vault, not out of your pocket. So let's put a bunch of money in here so we can do a lot of spending. Well, not too much money, but you know, just a little bit. Oh, 15k. That's gonna allow me to unlock a crafting employee. There we go. We now have all different types of employees unlocked. So if we come back here, do a cheeky refresh, you can see that we have all kinds of different skills available and all kinds of different employees. Let's see. Is there anyone who can do everything? No, because the most they can do is 3. I'm never going to be able to do more than 3. Let's see. Anyone? Let's grab 2 different employees. That's going to be the easiest way to explain it all. Let's grab Clinton and Helene. Clinton, we hire Clinton. Helen, we hire Helen. Now they are over here in the manage screen. Let's look at them a little closer. First off, Clinton. Click on him, and there's a couple things you can see. There's a couple tabs, and then we have his name, Clinton, obviously. We have his status, which is currently nothing. He's doing nothing. He's just idling. We have his salary, which is 7 an hour. And we have this very important morale. It's at 100%. His comfort is at 88, and his energy is at 94. What is comfort? What is energy? Comfort means sometimes he needs to sit down while working. Just needs to rest a little bit. That goes up pretty fast, so as long as they have a chair, they should be fine. Next, we have energy. Energy goes down slowly while they're working, and then they need to go home, so not working, not on the plot, to recover that energy back to a state where they can work efficiently. If this goes down quite far, like if it reaches 50, they'll start complaining. If it goes even lower than that, they'll start working really slowly. And if morale reaches, I think it's 0, or maybe it's a little above 0, they will just refuse to work. Now, let's continue. Tasks. This guy has 2 things he can do. 3 things, sorry. He can haggle, gather, and restock. Let's come back to those later, because we want to start with cleaning, then restocking, then I'll explain haggling, gathering, crafting. So let's skip over the stats he has right now, skills. That's his overview. Next we'll go to his equipment. In his equipment, you can equip basically fashion. You can craft yourself some pants, a shirt, slot them in here, and he'll be wearing them. It's like a shop uniform. The stats don't matter, but it will make him look, you know, different depending on what you put in there. If you put the same shirt on all of your employees, you know, it'll look like the store uniform. This is just fashion, it's fun. Next we have schedule. This is a very important one because right now he's working all available hours, which in this case, if we go back to manage, these are the available hours. 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. That's 24/7. So right now, because Clinton does not have a specific schedule set up, he is going to be at the store 24/7, which of course is going to make him very tired. He's not going to be able to work 24/7. So ideally, we set up a schedule for him here. Now, I'm not going to do that right now, or I'm going to do it right now, but I'm not going to keep it here so we can show stuff. Click add schedule. What does that do? It adds, you know, some hours. Currently it's 10 a.m. So let's set that to 10 a.m. Let's say we want him to work for the next 4 hours. Well, I guess it's not exactly 10 a.m. Let's say 9. A little hiccup there, but that's fine. So it shows you a schedule. Now, these guys, if they're not trained, they get tired in about 4 hours. Then they rest and they're recovered in about 4 hours. So what you could do is set them on a 4 hour schedule. What I like to do. Oh. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Jesus. So what you could do is, 12 a.m. to 4 a.m., 8 a.m. to noon. There we go. And then the last one, 4 p.m., 8 p.m. So he has 3 shifts of 4 hours and 3 sleepies of 4 hours. My God, sir, please. I'm making a video here. There we go. That means he's going to be working when he has energy, and is going to be resting, and he's going to come right back. You can copy this schedule, all 3 of them. You can paste them on a different employee, like Helene. There we go. Now Helene is also back. Now the other buttons, let's go back to Clinton real quick. This call button, I don't know what it does, to be honest, and it doesn't matter. I've never used it. The next button, the marker button, it does what it says. You click that, and it shows you where Clinton is. Currently, he is walking around because he doesn't have any jobs right now. So we don't need Clinton right now. So let me just delete his schedule right now. Say that he only works from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., which is not right now. Let's hop over to Helene because she has tasks that we can look at. She has cleaning. That's the first task. Currently I have her set to only clean. Now I have her set to cleaning and crafting. Let's look at cleaning first. What does cleaning do? She goes all over the plot, cleans up trash and blood puddles. If she finds trash, which I don't have right now, she'll pick it up, put it in a trash can. If she finds blood splatters, she'll use a mop, clean it up. Real simple, real easy. She doesn't do anything else if she's just cleaning. Okay. Oh. I'm just gonna let both of them, because I'm gonna switch between the two. Let's look at Clinton next. The second skill on our list is restocking. Restocking means he's gonna grab stuff from a crate and he's gonna put it on a rack. Now, which crate is that gonna be? Right now he's saying, hey, I don't have any crates I can grab from to restock. Let's look at that. You have a crate right here. The crate is full of microphones, but he's not grabbing anything from them. Let's look at this little apron. As you can see, currently everything is turned off. By default, everything's going to turn on, but I turned it off so I can explain you what it all does. Input items. Input items means gathering employees and crafting employees will put stuff in this crate if they have something to put in. You can filter what is allowed to be put in if you turn that on, either by selecting a specific item, to 4 different items, a item size, small, medium, large, or if you turn this on, you can filter which specific category can go in here. Now let's say we only want to use this crate for microphones. We can select electric. That means only items that have the electric tag will be put in here. Why did I select electric? Because microphones are in the electric tab. They're also in the entertainment tab, so technically if we were to turn off electric and turned on, let's say gaming, or there's entertainment in here somewhere, I don't know by heart where it is, but if we turn one of those on, we'll also put the microphones in here. The last tab we have, I'm going to turn that back on right now, no, sorry, the second tab we have is sell items. This is the important one for restocking employees. I'm going to turn this on, and as soon as I turn this on, it's going to tell our little friend here, Clinton, that he's going to be able to take stuff from here, and he's going to put it on this shelf. There we go. Now, the higher his skill level, the faster he's going to be able to grab stuff and deposit stuff. Let's quickly go over the last tab as well, or not tab, the last little option, output items. Output items is only important for crafting. So crafting employees are going to be able to grab stuff from this chest to turn it into other stuff if you have this turned on. But if you don't have this turned on, anything you put in here, you will not be able to use when crafting. Let's see, garbage cans. Garbage cans use scrap, right? As you can see, well, I can make them because I'm in creative mode. But if I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to craft that. Why is that? Because this does not have output turned on. If I turn output on again, see, 76 out of 8. Now I can use that again. So, you know, it's good for crafting employees and for you crafting as well. Very important. But we don't want any crafting materials in here. This is our sell chest. We're only going to put sell, and we're going to put input by these two categories. There we go. Now that is only going to sell microphone. And that is also the only thing that Clinton does when he's a restocking employee. Just going to grab stuff from one chest, put it on a shelf. That's all he does as a gathering employee. Next on our list, as you can see, is haggling. Now, our haggling employee, I believe, was also Clinton. Yes, I'm going to turn off restocking for a second. I'm going to turn on haggling. Now that he has a haggler thing turned on, going to stand at the cash register, or rather he should be standing at the cash register as soon as a customer actually arrives. But we need to open the store for a customer to arrive, so let me just quickly plop a sign down, plop a waiting queue down. There we go. Open. There we go. Now customers are going to start coming in, and as soon as one of them wants to buy an item, we're going to see what Clinton does. Okay, we've got customers in the store right now. They're only selling microphones, so they're going to grab a microphone. And then they're going to go to the cash register, and as you can see, Clinton is going to book it. And he's going to sell the item. There we go. That's all he does. Now he is a little bit slow because his skills are low. That's all a haggling employee does. He just stands at the cash register and he haggles. Now we're about to move on to the more intricate and more difficult employees. So Clinton only has haggling, restocking, gathering. Let's send him gathering. Once we have gathering selected, we're going to see a couple things. First off, change gathering zone. Every shop you own is going to be linked to a zone. If you only own Hop Hop Shop, you're only going to see Bamboo Forest. Let's stay in Bamboo Forest right now. Bamboo Forest, I can gather bamboo, plant fiber, water, stone, apple, and steak. If I click bamboo, I don't even need to click it, I can see it, but if I click it, that's what he's going to gather, nothing else. I can also click stone, and plant fiber. I can click everything in this one zone. Now bamboo. Every 12 seconds, he's gonna come back. He's gonna give me, or he's gonna deposit rather, 4 to 8 bamboo. However, as you can see, currently he's saying, I don't have a box. And that's correct, because the only box on the plot right now is a box that only allows the microphones. So let's quickly give him another box. We go. Now we have another box. Yes, I know you're tired, but it doesn't matter. Go gather me some bamboo. So he goes off, goes to the edge of the plot, and he disappears. 12 seconds has passed. He comes back. Now normally he's going to walk all the way to the chest to deposit that, but due to some pathing, he just decided to yeet it all the way from over there into this chest. But if we look, we see that he delivered 4 bamboo. And as it said over here, he was going to deliver 4 to 8. So, you know, he rolled kind of low right now. But yeah, he delivered 4 bamboo. Now there is more than one zone, obviously. As you can see, we selected bamboo forest. There's also other zones. Now it doesn't matter which plot you're in right now. You can gather in all of the unlocked zones. Right now we're in the dojo plot, but I can totally send him to go fish on a tropical island and bring me some raw crab meat or some salmon. That's all completely possible. The only thing that's important to know is that you can only select multiple ingredients from one plot area, from one gathering location. I cannot send him to grab seaweed from the tropical island, but also bamboo from the bamboo forest. I have to pick one of the locations, but I can get everything in that location. It's just random what he's going to bring if I select more than one thing. Now, you can have multiple gatherers all gathering in different zones, and that's how you grab all of the different items you need to set up a supply chain, crafters to craft your items, to put them in the racks. Let's call him over. Send him on a break, because he's been working for a long time. Let's look at the last thing, the last task, which is something Helene has. Let's stop her cleaning and tell her to craft now. Now, crafting. How does it work? First off, you need a crafting table. Right now, what I have is a wooden crafting bench over here. I don't have anything else right now, so I'm just stick with that. There's a lot of recipes in here, right? For a crafter to be able to craft things in here, you have to go over here and we need to select output items. What it says is employees will craft what is in the queue. Now, normally, if you click a bunch of these items, a queue will form. But that's not the queue they mean. If you want to queue something up for an employee, you do this, continuous crafting, and you select an item. Let's see, we have bamboo in that chest over there. So let's select a bamboo cup. Obviously it makes me one because I have that crafting on. Okay, I've turned off free crafting, so now there's nothing that I can make anymore. As you can see, I can click it, but it's not going to craft. She is currently saying there are no stations that are requiring her services. Nothing is queued for crafting, so she's saying, hey, I can't craft anything. You're not asking me to craft anything. Well, let's queue something up. We have some bamboo, so let's queue up a bamboo cup. Now, it pulled the resources in there, but let's say there's not. If there's not, she brings them over. It goes back and forth. Now she's saying, oh, there's no more resources for me to grab. I put some more bamboo in there. Grabbing bamboo. And she's putting it in this crafting bench, feeding the crafting bench materials so the crafting bench can keep crafting. Once it's crafted, she's going to come grab this. Yep, she grabbed the result. She's going to put it in a chest again. There we go. So that is, for the most part, what crafting employees do. They go to a chest, grab resources. They bring that resource to a crafting bench, but it can also be a stove. It can be an oven, what's it called? A smelter. Smelters work. Weapon forges work. Sawmills. All works. Sewing machines, they'll grab the resources, dump it inside of the machine if something is selected here. And then once it's done crafting, they'll come grab it, put it in a box. That is what a crafting employee does. Pretty simple, right? Now, let's see. We've gone over all of the different skills one by one. Now, what if an employee has multiple skills selected? Well, it's going to depend on what the priority is. If her priority is cleaning, and we have a shop that is very dirty, she's going to be cleaning all the time, and she's never going to have time to craft. If I have it the other way around, that's the wrong person, she has crafting set as her primary task, she's going to be crafting for as long as there's stuff for her to craft, and she's never going to get cleaning. So that's why it's important to make sure all your employees have their priorities set straight, have tasks that are, relevant to their flow and stuff like that. Make sure every task gets done. And that's why we have multiple employees as well. We're going to unlock more of them over here. So that's how multiple tasks work. Let's look at the rest of the research options real quick. They're really easy. First, we have maximum active course limit increase. That means how many people can I train at the same time? We haven't discussed training yet, but we will in a moment. So by default, one person can be trained at a time. Then 2 people, then 3 people. Training is done over here in training. As you can see, there's going to be different training courses, and put people on them by clicking on them, click on a person, start training. Let's go over in detail what all the training options are. So we've got 3 right now, 3 options. We can increase those options in research 3 over here. This increases more options. We have intermediate cleaning, advanced, restock, and haggle, intermediate, haggle. You're only going to see training courses for what you have unlocked for the employees. Only have cleaning employees, you're only going to see cleaning, but you're also going to see work longer and get comfy. Work longer means your employees won't get tired as fast. They can work longer hours before they have to go home and rest. Get comfy means they don't have to sit down as often. They'll be able to stand longer periods of time without having to sit down on a chair or a couch or a cushion. Next, we have basics. We have intermediate, which we saw before, and we have advanced. Basic is only useful for teaching a new skill to an employee that does not yet have that skill. Clinton cannot clean. Skill is not learned yet, so if we send him on this basics of cleaning training regimen, it'll teach him the cleaning skill. It's going to start at a low level, but that's fine. He will be able to clean if we do that for him. Let's put him on there. Now, Clinton is now training. It says so here, progress training. Clinton is the one doing the basics of cleaning. If we look at manage, it also says he's training. So that means he's not going to be working in the store. As a matter of fact, nowhere to be found. Now, let's say we really need him. We need him to be back right now. So we can cancel the training altogether We'll only give you half the money back, which in this case is only 75 bucks, but you'll have your employee back immediately. You won't have to wait for the 2 hours it takes. 2 hours is nothing, but if we go to, for instance, advanced restock and haggle, it can take up to 41 hours for someone. Now, if I want Helena to get more skill in restock and haggle, which coincidentally she does not have, so this wouldn't work for her, but it would work for whatever our friend is, Conrad, Leopold, whatever his name is. 39. That's a lot of hours, right? It's more than an entire workday. So you have to be a little bit careful with sending them. Clinton wasn't it? You have to be a little bit careful with sending them on these training excursions. There's also going to be discounts that can randomly appear. This one, 41% off, means it's only going to cost 153 instead of 200 something. That's pretty good. You've also got the fast course option that can randomly appear. That makes the training time much lower. In this case, it even reduces it all the way to 0, which means if I were to train her, which I can't because she can't gather, but if I were to train her, it would allow me to immediately finish the training as well. That's very useful, but you gotta make sure you don't spend too much money shoving training courses through them if you're not sure you want to keep the employee, of course. Now, why would I want to train my employees? Obviously, work longer and get comfy. That, is quite logical why you would want that. They would be able to work longer and they would be able to stand up more. But why do I want to increase their cleaning and restocking levels? That is also very important, actually. Because, the better they are at something, the faster they're going to be. And if we come over to shop policies, it's a good way to show you. We've got a couple of shop policies here, like the expert cleaning employees, which makes them clean faster, scaling with their skill level. This tells you pretty well how fast it's going to be and how big the difference is going to be at higher skill levels. If this cleaning employee reaches the maximum level, it's going to be 90% faster, or it's going to take 90% less time to clean something. She's basically going to look at the dirt and it's going to disappear. And for cleaning, it's not so important. But if you think about restocking or gathering or crafting is not so important, but especially gathering and restocking, those are the two big ones. They're going to grab something, throw it on a shelf, grab something, throw it on a shelf, very important, makes everything much more efficient. And while it takes a lot of investment in money, it means you have to have less employees at the same time, which is important because, as you can see here, they can't work 24/7. So yeah, training is important. There's a couple of small details that I haven't discussed yet, mainly this button, sync shop open state with work schedule. Basically what that means is these numbers, 12 a.m. to 12 a.m., if I click this button, the shop is automatically going to be open between 12 a.m. and 12 a.m. We don't always want that. One thing we can do, which is something I recommend, is employees work 24/7, but what if you want your shop to be open only 16 hours a day? Well, that's not 16, that's 20 hours a day. So there's going to be a 4-hour gap where employees will be able to clean up and restock without having to worry about customers. That is something I would recommend rather than syncing with the work or with the overall schedule. Don't recommend it. I do recommend giving your employees some breathing room sometimes, especially at the later stages of shopkeeping where the shop is max level and you have a lot of customers coming in. A little bit of breathing room is probably going to make more money in the long run just because your employees will be able to actually handle the workflow. Yeah. that was pretty much everything I can think of right now employee-wise. One thing I can quickly show you as an example right now is if we go over to my, well, quote-unquote main testing plot, I can show you how a self-sufficient store looks like. So inside of here, inside of the store, we have some racks to display stuff on. Employees will grab stuff from this crate, put it in these racks. Currently there's nothing in there because I haven't been on this plot for a while, and that makes them not produce as fast. Now, of course, where does this stuff come from? Good question. Let's start at the very beginning. First off, I have employees gathering plant fiber, and they put it in this box. Then they grab that plant fiber and they put it in this sewing machine. The sewing machine then automatically turns this plant fiber into cloth. At the same time, employees are also gathering leather, putting it in here and creating leather cloth. Then they take both the cloth and the leather cloth, automatically put it in here, and that makes winter jackets. The crafting employees then grab those winter jackets, carry them all the way over here, put them in this chest, and then the restocking employees will grab the jackets and put them on display like they're doing right here. Then the customers can either check out over here or check out at the self-checkout. So I technically never have to produce anything in this plot to set up or to make money in that shop. Everything works on its own. Now there is one very important caveat that we need to talk about, which is unfortunately something that is just part of the game. And that is, as you saw, everything over there was empty when I arrived here. That is because employees will not be crafting things when you are not at the plot. They will, to some degree, collect stuff, and they'll then put it in the box all at once when the server calculates how long you've been away and how many resources should have been gathered. Calculates that and then makes them drop all of those resources all at once in this chest, which is why sometimes you'll come back and you'll find like 40 iron ore, 40 copper ore, stuff like that. So yeah, they won't be crafting when you're not here. That does mean that even though this shop is fully automatic, it really only works if I'm on the plot. So ideally, you just have one fully automatic plot, the plot that you hang out on. There's not a whole lot of merit to having multiple automated plots because they're not going to be working when you're not there. This is something that just isn't, you can't really get around that right now in the state of the game. If they made the entire world and every single plot simulated at the same time so they kept working, that would probably fry your computer with how much processing and memory. So yeah, you can set up a fully automatic shop, but you do got to stay on the shop plot or visit it every couple minutes or something, which is basically the same thing. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to you guys. I'm sure that I missed a lot of things, so please do make sure to let me know if there's any other questions. I make a lot of videos, so I probably wasn't very clear on everything, but just ask me for clarification and I will clarify. Easy as that. I will catch you on the next one and have a good day.